What's up, guys? Man, I really should have thought of this background. Hold on. Let me just, That's a lot better. Okay, welcome to my only YouTube video. But what about... This is my only YouTube video. This is my only YouTube video. Don't look. Don't look. Anyways, today we will be talking about photosynthesis. I know you probably already learned about this in your biology class a few years ago, but I don't care. I'm here to teach it to you. So without further ado, let's get started. Photosynthesis is a process where a plant takes energy from the sun and from water, converts it into sugar and oxygen for them to live and for us to live. Pretty nifty, huh? Yeah. Photosynthesis is a complicated process, a lot like my emotions, that is represented through the equation 6CO2 plus 12H2O plus HV yields C6H12O6, or just like glucose or sugars and stuff like that, because nobody wants to say C6H12O6 over and over again, plus 6O2 plus 6H2O. Now the HV in this equation stands for light energy, which is H times V, H being Planck's constant, which is 6.626 times 10 to the negative 34th joule seconds, times the light frequency of like the sun waves and stuff. This process reduces carbon dioxide into carbohydrates, which are these little sugars that are like the most important part of photosynthesis. These little sugars, they rapidly convert into stuff like glucose, sucrose, and starches, which help the plant live and helps the plant help us live. The light energy from the sun absorbs into plants via the chlorophyll, which absorb these like green energy waves that make the plant green. If you look outside right now, you'll probably see a lot of green because plants are green thanks to chlorophyll. This energy, these waves and stuff, are then transferred via the ATP or adenosine triphosphate molecules. These break the bonds between the water molecules and the sunlight, and then help transport those molecules to different parts of the plant, which do different things, which is really cool. After the ATP molecules break the bonds between the water and the sunlight, these bonds are carried throughout different parts of the plants, and there's this whole process that is called the Calvin cycle. Now, the Calvin cycle is this process that converts broken bonds, like the broken bonds of the sunlight energy and the water, into, like, this Calvin cycle actually creates the glucose, sugars, and the oxygen to create a thriving space for living organisms. And this process is, you guessed it, it is an endothermic reaction because the plant is constantly absorbing energy. It's taking it in order to form a reaction. Now, for the real question that I know you all have been waiting for. Can I do that? This is actually perfect because the sun is shining right in my eyes. So yeah, I went outside and I attempted to photosynthesize, just like any normal, sane human being would. Do you think the people in the trailer next door are looking at me right now thinking I'm crazy? Well, of course not. Why would they? This is a totally normal and sane thing to do, and you're such a sane and normal individual for thinking this would work. Yeah, do a little spin. Really soak up that sunlight, because this is totally working, and you're totally photosynthesizing right now. Yeah, you just watched 2 minutes of me attempting to photosynthesize. I know what you're all thinking. Well, of course you can't do that. You're not a plant. And that was stupid. You're probably wondering, but why can't I do that? It must be so easy for those plants. Well, yeah, because that's kind of what they're used to doing. That's kind of what they're built to do. Here comes the interesting part. Plants, they actually breathe through small pores on their leaves. These pores are called stomata. The singular is just stoma. Here in these pores, plants inhale or absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. The carbon dioxide is absorbed into chloroplasts, which I just talked about, where it's converted into sugars and oxygen. We don't have that. First of all, we don't breathe through our pores. That's kind of why we can't photosynthesize. Well, the human respiratory system is, similar. We don't have chloroplasts or breathe through our pores. I know. Disappointing. If only.
Y'all free this Friday? I'm good Friday. Mike, you free this Friday?
Yeah, I'm good for Friday.
Johnny, you free this? What the? I'm so green.
Instead, we have these super nifty lungs that actually take in oxygen to power our bloodstream and release carbon dioxide. The complete opposite of a plant, actually.
Sorry, man. We just can't be friends. We're too different.
Darn. However, plants do release the oxygen that we need to stay alive. So, next time you see a tree, why not give it a big hug? Say thanks. Or maybe next time you see the sun, you say thanks to it for giving the plants the energy they need to keep us alive. Heck, give that a big hug too.